Hi, my name is Lizzie Pedersen. I'm a senior at Anderson High School, and I was also in the health science practicum. Today, I'm going to talk to you about my personal experience being a health science practicum student and 5 things that I learned. So, I actually shadowed at White Rock Veterinary Hospital, and I was super fortunate that I had actually already interned there over the summer. So going into practicum, I already had a site. I knew what I was doing. But with all of that said, I still learned a lot this year in practicum. All right, so one of the first big things that I learned is that you are your best advocate. If you are unsure what's happening and you feel a little lost, don't be afraid to ask questions. You're there to learn. Most of the healthcare professionals will understand, they're not used to having someone follow them around. So they're probably not used to explaining everything that they do. So don't be afraid to ask questions. The second takeaway that I have is that you should always maintain professionalism. You will come across difficult people and difficult situations, and you need to keep yourself professional in order to handle those situations. I know for me, there was this one girl at my site named Abby. She was very difficult to deal with, to say the least. But you just need to know how to navigate difficult people and how to remain composed and handle everything responsibly. The third takeaway that I have for you guys is that while you're at your site, every second counts. You're only required to be at your site for 3 hours a day or 6 hours a week, so the time goes by really fast while you're there. But of course, there are going to be slower days, and I found that on these slower days, you can actually get a lot of learning done. So I actually have a couple of people to tell you guys about. First, there was this one surgical technician, Edna. She taught me all sorts of stuff. She also taught at ACC. She taught like vet teching, and she was an amazing teacher to me. Whenever I was assigned to her for the day, I would learn so much. Like, I remember the first day I was with her, she taught me how to properly give injections and how you have to make like a little tent with the skin and poke it at a certain angle. And she taught me how to use the computer system, and this was all on slower days. The second person I wanted to talk about was Dr. Loth. Whenever we had slow days and I was working with him, he would help me like learn all sorts of stuff. He was the exotics expert at the clinic. So I remember we saw a bird with a cranial bleed, which crazy. And he taught me how to read ear cytologies under the microscope and how to see the different microbes under the microscope. And he would actually do this thing where he would like quiz me. He'll be like, Lizzie, I have a slide. Tell me what it is. Tell me what you see. And yeah, that was super fun. All right, the fourth takeaway that I have for you guys is that practicum is what you make of it. If you don't seem super interested or engaged, then the person you're shadowing isn't necessarily going to be super inclined to like teach you stuff. If you choose to spend time on your phone or just like sit around and do nothing at your site, you'll end up missing out on a lot of great opportunities, and don't do that. It's just really sad. All right, and the fifth takeaway that I have from practicum is that you shouldn't overstep. You need to know your place. You're not hired there. You are not a professional. You are there to learn. So don't be super overbearing or pushy. Just take it all in one step at a time. You are there to learn. One thing I really loved about White Rock was that while I was essentially assigned to work with a new technician every time, I actually got to get really close with the doctors there as well. So I ended up becoming really close with Dr. Schroeder, and she actually wrote a letter of recommendation for me. And that's one of the things I love about Practicum is you get to make these connections that will help you later in life. All in all, Practicum was a really fun experience, and I'm so fortunate that I got to be in the Practicum class this year.